welcome to Straightforward Conversation with Garry Hunter. My guest today is Richard Harrison, Director of Alumni Relations for Ohio University. Rick is the Chief Operating Officer for the alumni programs at Ohio University and serves as the Executive Director of the 141,000-member Ohio University Alumni Association. Recently, he was elected President of the Alumni Directors State Universities of Ohio organization. In 1989, Rick was one of 3 administrators to receive an Ohio University Outstanding Administrator Award. Our topic tonight is alumni relations at Ohio University. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you, Gary.
I'd like to start the discussion off tonight, Rick, by just simply asking you what is the purpose of an alumni relations organization?
Our purpose is really to try to find ways to stay involved, our alumni population out there, to communicate in the program and to give our graduates opportunities to stay in touch with Ohio University.
What size staffing do you have at your office?
We currently have 3 assistant directors of alumni relations and then a support staff, but literally we have hundreds of staff members because we work with volunteers across the country involved with our alumni chapters and constituent society organizations. So in town we have about 12 people, but really across the country we have hundreds.
And how does that differ from, say, what an alumni relations organization would have been at Ohio University, say, when I went there some 25 years ago?
Well, I know our first alumni office was really started in the late 1850s, and
I don't go back that far.
For many years it really was a one-person shop. Clark Williams, Marty Hecht, a number of my predecessors worked with a very small staff. Of course, there were fewer alumni at the time, but we really have grown, I think, in terms of looking at the population of our alumni to be able to support them effectively.
What kind of a budget do you work with then?
We work with a budget, not including salaries, somewhere in the $400,000 range. The majority of that comes from the private dollars that alumni donate to the university for unspecified means, to the best use that the university can put it. And we also receive support from the general university budget for salaries and some other supplementary monies.
So the majority of your budget then comes from sources other than directly from Ohio University?
That's correct. It doesn't come from tuition dollars. It really comes from the alumni themselves. We're different from a lot of alumni associations that are dues associations that require alumni to pay a fee in order to receive the services and the benefits that the Alumni Association has to offer. In our particular case, if you graduate from the university, there are no dues required for life. You get all the services and benefits that we have to offer.
In the introduction, I indicated that you have 141,000 members. How rapidly does that increase yearly at Ohio University?
Well, I suppose I'll have to correct you. After last weekend's commencement, we're approximately at about 145,000 living alumni around the world right now. With the university graduating more and more individuals each year, I believe it was about 3,700 this year, we grow by about that number each year.
The way your organization is set up, if you graduate from Ohio University, you're automatically a member of the Alumni Association.
That's true, and a matter of fact, there are even individuals that through circumstance, one reason or another, may not have been able to complete their degree. And upon request, if you've at least attended the university for 1 year, you can request to become a member of the Alumni Association.
How do you stay in contact with alumni? I know that's probably one of your major functions, is try to not only identify alumni, but to get them to continue to supply you with addresses and where they are.
Well, it's an ongoing job. We probably receive sometimes hundreds of address changes, name changes, circumstance changes a week here at the university. We stay in touch with them through sending out mailings and asking for address correction requests. We ask other alumni to search out lost alumni to stay in touch. And we stay in touch really through a number of vehicles, including the Ohio University Today publication that we send out 3 times a year to all alumni. We send out videos. That's one of our newest communication techniques, is to bring to life the campus to our alumni wherever they may be. And the newest development is really the establishment of a presence on the World Wide Web through the development of a homepage where alumni can pop right on and get all kinds of information about the Alumni Association, what's occurring, and change their address if necessary right online.
So you have essentially an interactive homepage where people can if they have access to the web, can
Well,
change
one of the
their-
favorite features, and we've had over 40,000 hits since we just brought it up in November, is the Alumni Network section of our homepage, where alumni can put in updates about what's going on in their personal lives, their professional lives, and leave messages to fellow graduates they may have gone to school with. Ask where this place is or that place is, or who remembers one thing or another. And it's been a very popular feature, and we have that broken down by decade. So you can go right on and go into the 70s or 80s, wherever you may want to.
What other things would be on the your homepage, such things as campus activities, such kind of?
We have performing arts schedules, athletic schedules, football, basketball. We have an alumni calendar up, so you know if an alumni chapter activity is occurring in your area. Contact information on how to reach alumni chapter presidents, national board members, contacts here at the university. The newest feature to go up is the presence of the Ohio University Today publication, our alumni tabloid. You can go and read that right online.
Alumni tabloid, is that what you said?
Yes, yes, the tabloid.
Okay. As in National Enquirer? And
Not always.
Is there any other services you have right now on the internet?
One of the things we're going to be looking to develop as time goes on, probably by the end of the summer, our alumni will actually be able to go shopping via the World Wide Web, and we're going to put up our alumni Bobcat gift shop, so you'll be able to take your shopping cart and order hats, sweatshirts, all kinds of OU gear and paraphernalia right online. We also have hopes to develop a career network aspect to our homepage, where alumni can write in and say that they're looking for a job opportunity, or alumni that have a job opportunity available can put that up online as well.
Well, stay tuned. We'll be back after this commercial break. When we return, I'd like to ask Rick about what I think is probably the primary purpose of an alumni association, and that is soliciting money. Welcome back to Straightforward Conversation. Rick, before the break, I was about to ask you about soliciting money. As most attorneys do, I'd like to ask you a two-part question. First, do you primarily exist to solicit money for Ohio University? And if you do, how do you go about doing that?
Well, surprisingly enough to a lot of people, the primary mission of the Ohio University Alumni Association is not to solicit money. We really have a number of goals that we operate in to provide alumni opportunities for re-involvement. If that means their ability to write a check to support the annual fund or a planned gift or to join the Trustees Academy, we certainly work in full support in conjunction with the Development Office at the University to support that. Private giving is very important to Ohio University. But what we do is provide really a lot of other opportunities. We're in the friend-raising business. The better job that we do in communication and programming, the better job the Development Office can do in raising those funds. We let alumni know that they can help recruit students for the university. They can help offer internships and career network opportunities. They can talk to their state legislators about the importance of higher education in the state of Ohio. They can come back and speak to a class, serve on a panel discussion, get involved with an alumni chapter or a constituent society. There are many ways alumni can be involved just beyond their fiscal dollars, although that is important. So we really have a cooperative role with the Development Office in the raising of funds, but we're not directly involved in that aspect.
When did you think the role of that turned around here on you? Just during your term as a director? You've been director since, what, about 10 years now, 15 years?
I've been with the Alumni Office for 11 years now, and I started as an assistant director, became associate director in '89, and I've been the director for the last 4 years. In terms of when it turned around, I'd say that there was a conscious decision to make a split between alumni relations, which falls under the University Relations Division, headed up by Vice President Adrienne Knabb. In that division are graphic communications, media productions, the visitor center, university news services and periodicals, and printing services, and the development division headed up by Jack Ellis. We, again, like I said, work in full concert with the Development Office in terms of their efforts. But the university decided that the split was really necessary to delineate the involvement of alumni and the communication of alumni from the raising of the private dollars.
Are there some important alumni around the country that are graduates from Ohio University?
Oh, I think all 145,000 are important, but
All right, some notorious alumni.
we do have a number of graduates that that one might consider having heard about over time. Some of them are deceased: Sammy Kaye, John Galbraith, Sammy Kaye, the band leader, John Galbraith, Pittsburgh Pirates owner, Darby Dan Stables, Roger Ailes, who has been in the media for quite a while in terms of advising a number of presidents, Van Gordon Sauter, the former president of CBS News and CBS Sports. We have a number of people that are considered members of the Alumni Association that are very close to graduation, including Matt Lauer, who's the news anchor on the Today Show, Nancy Cartwright, who's the voice of Bart Simpson. I'm sure you heard many of these names.
Sure.
Larry Hunter, the basketball coach
Who's he?
here at the university. But we really, of course, with our strong communication college, do have a lot of graduates that are out there in the media markets. But we also have people that are in the arts, like Jenny Holzer, who is a well-known artist, Jim Dine, people in the theater, Bill McCutcheon, who was a long time on Sesame Street, so I guess what I'm saying is no matter where you go, whether it's Mike Schmitz in athletics or at one place or another, you'll find an Ohio University graduate.
We know that in the late 70s it was a difficult time for Ohio University as far as enrollment. And there was a push on at that point in time to develop an adequate marketing theme for Ohio University to take it into the 80s and 90s when it was anticipated that student enrollments would be less. Did you folks fit into that picture, and if so, how?
I think some of the university's best recruiters are its alumni. They're people that came here and spent 4 or 5 or 6 years in southeastern Ohio at this university. They know the quality of the faculty, they know the personal touch, they know the commitment to undergraduate education, and the number of our graduates that really play a strong role in helping us with recruitment of students can't be diminished at all. They really play a large part in that. Right now we're continuing to look, even though we're getting 12,000 applications for 3,000 freshman openings, we're continuing to train our alumni to help the admissions office out in representing the university at college fairs, at high school kinds of functions, to let people know about Ohio University.
Do you go out and actually train alumni to
Yes,
operate in these functions?
We're working in concert with the admissions office to train individuals so they know all the facts and figures on tuition and what Ohio University is like today. And they can also sell those individuals about the experience that they had here.
Do you have a video on Ohio University that you send out upon request?
We have a number of videos. The Media Productions Office, which is relatively new to the university, it's been in operation for about 3 years now, is really doing a lot to get Ohio University out there, whether it's through the Ohio Sports Network or whether it's through the production of OU Extra, which comes out once a year, which is sort of like a video yearbook on the university. And next year they're looking to produce probably a quarterly news magazine that will promote Ohio University to its alumni and to other friends.
What do you feel is the most effective way to reach alumni?
The most effective way is probably getting out there and meeting them face to face, getting Dr. Glidden, senior administrators, and others out there to tell the Ohio University story. Because of our location, we do have to take the show on the road. So we work very strongly through our alumni chapters around the world, through our alumni publications, through the World Wide Web, through video, to continue to ensure that Ohio University has placement in these media markets so people continue to know about us.
I assume that one of your important functions is to make alumni feel good about Ohio University. How do you go about doing that?
I'm a pretty lucky man in that sense. I think no matter when you graduated from this place and what your memories are, that a lot of people look back and say that they did get a quality education here. There was a personal touch, and there was a devotion of faculty. And because of our location, again, you form some incredibly strong friendships with individuals here. I think the leadership provided by Dr. Ping and continuing now by Dr. Glidden has really made Ohio University the school of choice in the state of Ohio. That word's getting out there, and I think our alumni take a lot of pride in where its institution stands. I often say that if I could bottle up a stroll across a college green during the fall with the leaves crunching underfoot and the chimes going off and sprinkle that on folks, that's all it would take. People did enjoy their time here, and all I got to do is, and our staff has to do, is help to get those feelings back on the forefront, back on the priority list again.
Do you think that the majority of alumni are more than willing to give back to the university, as long as it's not just somebody coming at them and asking for money, if they're willing to ask them for sponsoring an intern or something, that they're willing to do that?
Sure. I learned a long time ago, if you don't ask, you're not going to get. And most of our alumni, if you ask them to do something, if they have the opportunity, they're more than willing. Like I said, it may be just talking to some prospective high school students looking at colleges. It may be buying some season tickets to help support the Ohio University football team. Our graduates very rarely say no to us if they're asked.
Well, stay tuned. We'll return after this commercial break. When we come back, I want to ask Rick about programming on campus, programming off campus here at Ohio University, and some of our chapters across the country. Welcome back to Straightforward Conversation. Rich, now I'd like to ask you about some specifics about programming that your office does. Let's start first with on-campus activities. What kind of involvements do you have with programs that occur on campus?
We try to offer a number of major programs a year to get alumni back on campus. Of course, homecoming each fall, which this year is October 26th, is our largest return of alumni to campus for a program, and we really try to deal with them through the entire weekend, from alumni awards banquets and bonfires to the homecoming parade, alumni luncheons and tent gator pregame kind of activities, to the football game itself, followed by performing arts that evening. We estimate that probably 7,000 to 8,000 alumni return to campus for homecoming each year.
I noticed this year you must have combined it with Halloween too, right?
No, although there is a rumor to that effect, the city has valiantly agreed to have Halloween fall the following weekend. So that will be a standalone weekend of homecoming, and the very next weekend will be the annual Halloween celebration.
Of course, you know that's spontaneous, so.
Well, I'm really afraid of our alumni more than the undergraduates. Most of them have been through that, or St. Patrick's Day before that time.
How did you go about bringing back homecoming? Because I remember homecoming 25 years ago when I was over here to OU's campus as being a very focal point of the year. And then we went through a period in the 70s, early 80s that it almost died, as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I think it did die for a few years, at least the parade and some of those activities. How did you go about recreating an interest in homecoming?
I'll give a lot of credit to our alumni themselves, who had been through the years when the homecoming was a big event, when J-Prom used to be on campus, that really made an appeal through the National Alumni Board of Directors and through the university to try to say, let's bring back some of these traditions. Some of them changed. The beauty queen days were over, and these days any of the royalty of courts of homecoming, either through the African American community, through raising money for scholarships, or through the Greek community who collect cans for the food bank here in southeastern Ohio, is how they choose the representatives these days. At the same time that homecoming went downhill, the Greek system at the university went through some tough times. In recent years, the fraternities and sororities have come back to a larger degree, and they very much assist us in building the floats and the banners and bringing back some of the pageantry to homecoming. We've been very lucky the last couple of years, and the University Program Council, who helps to coordinate the parade and deal with some of the other activities, has really built a new excitement in the students that this is a kind of thing that is fun to be involved with.
Did you have to go back and teach students how to build floats? Because I think that was a lost art for a while.
We did literally encourage some alumni to come back into town and show the students how to build floats, because back in the 50s and 60s they did a tremendous job in terms of the kind of technicians they had working on the floats during homecoming.
But homecoming, I believe, is probably a lot more than just the parade, is it not? What other programming do you provide in the weekend to lure alumni back to Athens?
Well, it may be performing arts. This year we have the Coasters, the Drifters, and the Platters coming back through the University Office of Public Occasions is bringing them back as one of their performing arts series. That's a definite boost. I think that Jim Grobe has started on the way towards bringing some excitement back to the Ohio University football program, and we certainly hope that will be an enhancement. A lot of the colleges and departments and student organizations hold receptions for their alumni during that weekend. And more important than anything that we can offer, it's a chance for people to come back and see friends they may not have seen for a number of years.
We all know that there's a hotel shortage in Athens when it comes to these major weekends for Ohio University. How do you address that issue, or do you have any role in that? Because I assume you get a lot of requests for where am I going to stay if I get back.
Sure we do. And we just keep thinking how many more alumni we'd have back on campus if we had more hotel availability. They stay in Lancaster, in Columbus, in Parkersburg, in Marietta, and commute in. They sleep on floors of friends. They sleep in their cars. Those that have hotel rooms usually have about 5 or 6 extra people on the floor. This next year, for the first time ever, we're reserving some rooms at a Columbus Airport Hotel, and we're going to reserve buses through our Central Ohio Alumni chapter. So alumni can fly in on Friday, get on the bus first thing Saturday morning, come down to campus in time for the parade, take part in all the homecoming activities, leave later that evening, get back to their airport hotel location, fly out the next day, so they can still do homecoming without having to worry about where they're going to sleep.
What other activities throughout the year do you plan on campus for alumni?
We try to have at least one major reunion a year. In years past, when I first started, we used to have a 10-year, 25-year, 35, and 50-year reunion. The last couple years, we've started to bring back era groups. This year, we had the Return to Camelot reunion for the classes of 60 to 65. The year before that was a Aquarius reunion for the classes of 67 to 70.
Should I ask him where you're getting these titles from?
Well, you know, we try to look for fun things that deal with the era. The Warriors reunion, the Magic Moments reunion. And so we're bringing back 4 or 5 years at a time that you knew as many people ahead of you as you did behind you, and really try to provide some nice programming for them throughout that weekend. During the summer, we offer the Alumni College program, and we're going into our 18th year of Alumni College, which is a 3.5-day educational recreational vacation where alumni come back, stay in the residence halls, eat in the dining halls, hear from some of our best and brightest professors, do recreation, creative arts, and we have a program called Junior Alumni Program, so their children are off experiencing college and while mom and dad are sitting in the classroom.
Is this a fairly innovative program you've been having?
We were one of the first universities to really start with an alumni college program, and it's now being emulated by a lot of other associations around the country. But we work in concert with athletic team reunions, fraternity and sorority reunions, other student organizations, department, colleges, siblings weekend events, moms weekends events. So while we do have a couple very major programs, we work in concert with a lot of individuals to bring alumni back to campus.
About how many alumni would come back for, say, homecoming?
We estimate, and then we can only do some guesswork that we may have about 8,000 alumni return every year. A lot of them drive in, do the day, and have to leave again because of the hotel shortage.
And then for your reunions and those kind of things, what would you guesstimate return traditionally?
The largest return we've had for a reunion was our Black Alumni Reunion, which we hold every 3 years, and we had nearly 600 alumni come back for that particular reunion. It tends to average about 200, 250 for some of our era reunions that we sponsor.
Now let's move off campus to other cities. Do you program events in some of your cities that have major chapters?
Well, we have to. We have to take the show on the road, again, because of our location. We have 67 alumni chapters around the world, 10 international chapters, 57 domestic. So whether you move to Kuala Lumpur or St. Louis, Missouri, San Francisco, to New York City, to Miami, we did some work and found out that over 100,000 of our graduates live within a radius of one of our 67 alumni chapters.
That's a significant number of them.
Yes, it is.
Where would you say the largest number, and I think I'm going to know the answer to this, of your alumni reside? Is that still in the state of Ohio?
It's still in the state of Ohio, and up until 2 years ago was in Cleveland. Central Ohio region, the Franklin, Delaware, Union, Madison counties has recently overtaken Cleveland as the largest number of alumni. We have nearly 12,000 alumni in the Central Ohio region, and that's followed pretty closely by about 11,000 in Cleveland. We have 4,000 graduates in California and another 4,000 overseas. So OU graduates go all over the world.
Now, if you were going to, how do you go about planning an activity, say, in Columbus or Cleveland, where we're not likely to have some sort of a sporting event or something else that's going on there as a focal point?
Our chapters offer a diversity of programs, and they will, through our volunteers in the area, sponsor anywhere from 2 to 15 events a year. They could be cultural events, they could be athletic events, they could be happy hours, they could be dinners and lunches with speakers from the university, they could be community service events, send-off freshman events, career networking events. We really try to be sure that they sponsor something for everyone.
Well, thank you, Rick. This has been really interesting this evening. This has been Straightforward Conversation with Garry Hunter, and good evening.